If you're having trouble setting, tracking, and hitting your goals, do you A, set better goals, B, use better methods, or C, create better habits? Now, each one of them can get you good results, but one of them can almost guarantee your success when it comes down to setting, tracking, and hitting your goals. I'm going to go through each one of them and I'm going to show you the best method. I'm going to show you the best method that I use, and I'm going to show you the method that I have taught to thousands of people to help them to set, track, and hit their goals with much more success. And make sure you watch at the end, because I'm going to give you a simple question. You won't believe how simple it is, but it's going to help you to achieve more goals, more dreams, more aspirations than you are doing now. I'm Anthony Charles. On this channel, I make videos on the strategies, the tools to help you to turn your knowledge, your ideas, and your skills into real money. I'm here to help you to be more, to do more, and to have more by strengthening your mindset, mastering your people skills, and boosting your productivity. So let's get into it. How do we get more results from our goal setting? Is it A, setting better goals? When people decide to do this, it normally consists of them giving themselves more time. So they'll look at their goals, they haven't hit them, so they will just move the goals. So they'll say 3 months or 6 months, and they'll work to this 3 month plan or this 6 month plan, and they'll convince themselves this time around, I'll get it done. I have somebody that's pretty close to me that has been working on the same 6 month plan for about the last 3 decades. And if you try to talk to somebody like that and show them that they're just doing the same mistake again and again and again, they would have already convinced themselves. So there's nothing that you can say to them, and they will tell you and they'll show you why this 3 months or this 6 months is going to be different to all the past 6 months. And the immediate problem with this is, number one, human nature, and number two, Parkinson's law. You know, Parkinson's law, it simply states that the work will always expand to fill the time given for its completion. So the more time that you give yourself, the longer the task is going to take. So if you had something that could have been done in a day, but you've given yourself a week to get it done, I guarantee you won't get it done in a day. You'll get it done in the week. And somebody will argue with me and say, well, if you got it done on the Wednesday instead of the Monday, it still took you that day. But no, if you had got it done on the Monday, you would have had more time, because you probably wasted that time between this day and the Wednesday, where you could have got that task done and you could have moved on to other things. So as long as you keep on kicking that task and kicking your goal down the road, fooling yourself that more time is the answer, the more you're going to continue to struggle with your goals. Now, others, they focus on the quality of their goals. The amount of times I've heard somebody say, I just need to set better goals. And do you think the quality of your goals really make that much of a difference? Let me give you an example. Let's look at Wimbledon tennis. Now, I would say Wimbledon is one of the most prestigious of the 4 annual Grand Slam matches that take place in the world of tennis, and I do enjoy watching it. Now, in let's look at the singles. There's lots of different competitions. There's doubles and mixed doubles. Let's look at the men's singles and the women's singles. In each category, there is 128 players. So 128 players come in the men's category, 128 women come in for the women's category, and they all battle for that coveted prize. Now, not everybody thinks that they can win Wimbledon. There are some who come in and they're just happy to be there. Maybe it's their first Wimbledon, they're qualifying, they're feeling over the moon. But there are a number of those 128 people that absolutely believe and want to win. But how many win? At the end, you know the answer. There can only be one. Out of 128 men, 128 women, there can only be one winner. And think about it. The eventual winner and the subsequent losers, they all had the same goal. They all wanted to win the cup. So if they all had the same goal, then it can't be down to the quality of their goal. Now, somebody's going to say to me that, oh, well, the winner obviously wanted it more than the other. So exactly, then it's not the goal. There's got to be something more. So let's look at B, using better methods. And when you concentrate on your methods, you start looking at the systems that you're using. So you might start looking at the routines that you are putting in place, like your visualization, your meditation. You might look at the tools that you're using, the diaries, the planners, the productivity apps, the to-do list. You start looking at the way how you set and track and hit those goals. You might start looking at the motivational material that you are using, the seminars, the workshops. And when you're looking at all of these things, you're waiting for that major transformation to happen. And most people spend a lot of their time at this level. And yes, at this level, you can get great results. Yes, you feel productive, you tick the boxes, you move forward. But let's look back at my Wimbledon example. Concentrating on your methods will help you to hit your goals. Yes, it's like winning Wimbledon once. But what I'm about to show you is the difference between somebody who wins Wimbledon once and those giants like Martina Navratilova, Serena Williams, Steffi Graf, Venus Williams, Roger Federer, Pete Sampras, Novak Djokovic, Bjorn Borg, those people who are the giants who have won Wimbledon again and again and again. Now, if you like this kind of video where I share with you what I've learned through my life experiences and how it determines the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis, and if the tips I give you work for you, then you know what you've got to do. You've got to like, share, and subscribe. Join the family. Come on. So let's look at C, creating better habits. Telling you, habits are the game changer. Habits are your continuous actions. Habits are the actions that save you time. They're not random. They come from your beliefs. They come from your values. They come from the way you see yourself. They come from the way you see others. They come from the way you see the world. Your habits are you. And if your habits are you, then you can probably begin to see why goal setting can become an absolute nightmare if what you are setting as a goal doesn't match your habits or the way you see yourself. Let me explain. There is a law called the law of sustainment, and it simply states that it's difficult to maintain actions that contradict your self-perception, the way you see yourself, your self-image. So if your goals require you to do a certain thing that conflicts with the way you see yourself, then you're going to struggle. So if you're one of these people who say things like, I'm not a morning person, or I can't remember people's names, I'm bad with money, I'm always late, or, if you say anything like that, if you set goals that are contrary to the way that you see yourself, so if you're saying one of these things and the goal that you are setting requires you to do one of these things, like be on time, then you're going to struggle. The solution is a simple method called identity shifting, something I've spoken about on this channel many times. I'm going to show you again how powerful it is. Imagine there's two people and they have both realized that sugar is not good for them. And if you eat a lot of sugar, it's not good for you. One says, I'm cutting down on sugar. The other one says, I don't take sugar. So somebody offers them sugar. They says, no, I'm trying to cut down. The other one is like, no, I don't take sugar. It sounds similar, but those two statements are worlds apart. One is operating on goals and methods. The other one is operating on identity and habits. One still identifies as somebody who eats sugar, but's trying to cut down. The other one identifies as somebody who doesn't. The shift from I want to I am changes everything. So let me show you how this technique is going to work for you in goal setting. So you set your goal, and you know that I like to write my goals down starting with the word to. So you write down to and whatever the goal is. So you write your goal down and don't date it yet. I know you're normally taught to set the goal, set the date, etc. Hang on a second. I want you to ask yourself this question. And this is a question that I talked about at the beginning, the question that is going to change everything for you. So look at your goal. Your goal is going to say to, and then you read that goal and ask yourself this question. What kind of person could hit a goal like this? Yeah. And you can change up the way you ask a question, but that's the essence of the question. What kind of person can hit a goal like this? So for instance, if you were going to lose weight, you'd ask yourself a question, what kind of person can lose 28 pounds and keep it off? If you were going to start a particular kind of business, you could say, what kind of person will start this business and complete this business? If you were, I don't know, going to do something in sports like run the marathon, you can say, what kind of person will start and complete the marathon and do all the training that's needed, that's necessary for me to complete the marathon? Are you getting this? Okay. Your answer, the answer to the question is the secret of what habits that you need to build to hit the goal. Does that make sense? And here is where you set yourself mini goals. Listen to the answers. When you say what kind of person can do this, you'll start getting the answers. So if you're losing weight, for instance, you say, what kind of person can lose this 28 pounds and keep it off? The answer to that is a person who doesn't eat sweets, a person that doesn't eat maybe loads of carbs is going to turn into sugar inside of your body. Whatever it is, listen to the answers. You're probably going to have a number of answers to the kind of person that can hit this goal. And those are the habits that you're going to have to start adopting. And then you start listing those habits, those small, consistent actions that reflect the person that you are becoming. And you set mini goals. You set many goals to achieve those things. So if it's not eating sweets, you're going to say, I'm going to set a goal not to eat sweets for 1 week. Getting myself into a habit. It takes about 28 days to form a habit. That's why most of us don't form new habits, because 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22 days in, we quit and we don't make it up to that 28 days to even begin to form a habit. So you set those mini goals so you can start to become the person that you need to be to hit the goal that you want. Now, when you go through this process and you look at all the mini goals that you set, now you've got an overall picture of what your goal is. Then you go in and you set your final goal for its completion, because now you know what you really have to do to make the goal work. Too many times you set the goal, you might be tracking the goal, but you haven't stopped to say, how do I change into the person that is going to hit that goal? It comes down to your habits. Isn't it crazy? Your habits are who you are, and who you are forms your habits. Once you understand that loop, everything changes. So if you're finding these goal setting techniques handy and you're ready to be more, do more, and have more, and you want to get on that road to turning your knowledge, your ideas, and your skills into real money, then make sure you download my essential business ready checklist. It's absolutely free, and it's going to give you a clear picture of where you are in business right now, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do next to progress. The link is in the description box underneath. Remember, great goal setting methods and techniques will help you to hit loads of goals. But if you want to hit some massive home runs, then all you got to do is adjust yourself to align yourself to match your goals. Start acting like the person you want to be today. In other words, be more so you can do more, so you can have more. And remember, success starts in your mind. So you keep on being amazing, because you are. Feeling good? Want more results like this? Let's keep that momentum going with this video here. Also, click on my head here to subscribe.